Good morning, athletes. Coach Barry here, and Coach Michelle and I just got in from our Saturday morning run, and we wanted to give you five minutes of a few quick tips. It's early in our training program now, so we want to talk a little bit about the principles of training. Some of the things that we've mentioned in some of the emails, hopefully it'll make it a little bit clearer for you. Let's talk about common mistakes. Almost all runners and walkers and athletes, starting off, what they want to do is go farther and faster as quickly as they can. And that's not how it really works. It takes a system. You want to be doing slower miles, easy miles, get the body moving, build a really good base. You know, everybody wants to peak. It's really important to peak, but it's even more important of when you peak. You know, you want to peak on event day. So you don't want to get to your peak too early, and it's way too early now. So let's talk about the principle of overload and recovery. Overload and recovery, you'll see in our training plans that some days you have longer miles, the next day will be shorter miles, or you'll start to see harder workouts and then an easier workout. And then after a few weeks, you'll see that the long run was longer the previous week than it is this week. That's based upon the overload and recovery principle. We want to overload the system or stress the system and then give it a little bit of time to rest. The only time you get stronger is when you rest. Think about that. If you work and work and work and push and push and push, you're always doing a little bit of micro damage to the body, muscles and tissues, and they never have an opportunity to recover and get more healthy. So, importance of rest. Remember, stress and fatigue are like a two-sided coin. One side's stress, one side's fatigue. You can't have one without the other. So learn how to work the stress to your best of your ability, and when you're fatigued, use that rest period in order to get stronger. Another thing we want to talk about is the specificity of training. You know, nothing is going to replace miles. You need to get out and do those miles. You can't say, well, today I'm not going to do my miles, I'm going to go play tennis instead. I'm not saying not do your tennis or your basketball, but you can't use that as a replacement for your workout. So stick to the plan, work in some good cross training, but get in the miles that you can. If you want to be better at any sport, you have to do that sport. So run or walk, it should be your primary focus here, and your other activities can be a little bit of a benefit for cross training. So just learn how to manage it. Now let's go back to the training plans. Do you have to do it exactly that day and exactly that many miles? No, it's just a guide to get you there. It's a guide that's full of the overload and recovery principle. So you know, it's a ballpark, right? You just got to think that that's a ballpark plan. It's a small ballpark, but it's a ballpark. So just stay in the ballpark, the small ballpark, and you'll do fine. Now let's talk a little bit about the pacing while you're out there training. Again, we're saying that you don't want to peak too early. You want to do it at the best time. Well, right now we're base building, so everything should be an easy pace. Should be significantly slower than your 5K pace. Should be significantly slower than even your marathon pace. So we'll work up to those paces. We're going to be working on base pace, tempo pace, also known as lactate threshold. Then we'll do a little bit of speed work, and then in the last part we'll do some taper. So there's really those tempos, or I mean those paces, follow a basic principle of training. The different phases. Phase 1 is base building. Phase 2 is tempo and lactate threshold improvement. Stage 3 or phase 3 is when we hit our long runs and add in a little bit of speed work and efficiency. And then the 4th phase is when we want to taper. So right now, worry about your base building. When we start talking about tempo runs, that will help your lactate threshold. That's also what we call for pure endurance. It trains your body to be able to adapt and be out there for a long period of time. Well, we're just about out of time, so I just want to throw in a couple words about safety real quick. Stick to the 5-minute principle, but the safety things we want to share with you is always go against traffic. Don't run with traffic. The law in all the states are that pedestrians, when they're on the road and not a sidewalk, they should be going facing traffic. That way you can see the cars and get out of the way. If you're going with traffic, then it's possible that they're not looking for you, and unfortunately sometimes bad things happen. So go against traffic. Another thing, always stay 2 abreast. Don't fill up the road, even though it's a small, quiet road. Always run no more than 2 abreast. And as soon as you see an oncoming vehicle, somebody yell out, "Car up," "Car back," if you hear it coming back, and get into single file. You know, don't wait until they get there and then scoot over. You don't want to avoid that push me, pull you dance side to side. Get ahead, because you never know when they're going to see you or if they're not going to see you. Well, that just wraps it up about principles of training, and I'm out of time, so have a great day.